Hi, this is your friend, Faith Enriquez, and we're talking today about going to the grocery store after your concussion. We're taking a coffee break. I'm going to plan to do this every Wednesday around 10:30, every Wednesday that I can. But I've heard quite a few people the last week asking this question that they're having a hard time going to the grocery store after their concussion, and they're kind of surprised by it. Well, going to the grocery store is actually something that's difficult for many people after their concussions. And I want to explain to you a little bit about why that is the case. So the first thing is, as I will always say, if you have a concussion, you've got to find a good concussion specialist who can look at all the different things that might be wrong with you. There's 6 different types of concussions. Going to the grocery store, it could be that you have a vestibular problem that needs to be addressed. It could be a vision problem. It could be a problem with your neck. It could be a problem with anxiety and mood. All these different areas could be affecting your ability to go into busy places and making that really difficult. So you've got to find somebody who's going to address those underlying issues that are making it so hard to go to the grocery store. I'll tell you, when my son Josiah had his concussion recently, they had some very specific issues that were making it hard for him to go into public places. He had a vision problem where his eyes weren't coming together properly on a target. They were working on that. He also had a problem with his gaze stabilization. That's part of your vestibular system that makes it possible for you to look at an object while you're walking or moving, and that object stays still and doesn't jump all around. So you can imagine if you have that problem and you go to a store and everything in the store and all the people and the carts, it all looks like it's sort of jumping around in your vision, that's going to make you feel really dizzy or foggy or have a headache. It's going to make you feel awful. So you have to find someone who can see that problem in you and help you fix it. Another problem that he had to be addressed was a problem with his visual motion sensitivity. That's another part of the vestibular system. So your vestibular system interprets motion, both your own motion and motion that's going on around you. When you're in a busy place like a grocery store, there's a lot going on around you. And normally your brain is able to filter out everything it doesn't need. But often after a concussion, that filter gets broken, and they call that condition visual motion sensitivity, where suddenly all this motion around you makes you feel terrible. Your brain can't filter out what's not needed, and it overloads it and just feel horrible. But a good therapist can help you restore that broken system. So those are some reasons why you might be having a hard time at the grocery store. At least those are the ones that were affecting my son. Yours might be different. Again, get a good concussion specialist who can help you get to the root causes of why you're having such a hard time with such a simple activity that is needed going to the grocery store. Okay, well, besides finding a specialist to fix the underlying issues, I'm going to tell you what our doctors told my children to do about going to the grocery store and to other busy places. Of course, I've already said they address the underlying issues, and we're working on the visual and vestibular and anxiety kind of things that were causing trouble. But they also gave one more important piece of therapy, a daily activity that they were to do every single day. And this came from, here you go, UPMC, and these were the exact instructions that were given to my kids by Dr. Ann Muka, who's the chief vestibular, what is her title? Got it here? Vestibular Rehabilitation Coordinator at UPMC, and also by their main doctor, Dr. Collins. So their instructions said this: at least once each day, go to a busy place, such as a grocery store, mall, restaurant, coffee shop, etc. Well, that's surprising. Those places make me feel terrible. Why would I go there? Well, this is what they say: remain in this environment until symptoms increase to a 6 out of 10 level. So you don't want to push it too far, but you do want to push it where it's starting to be uncomfortable. So if you're feeling dizzy and you feel like you're at 6 out of 10, 10 being like so bad you're going to fall over, if you're up to 6, then that's how far you want to go. Then remove yourself from the environment. So if you're just starting off, you just want to go in for maybe 5 minutes, just until you get to that 6 out of 10 level. You step out, you allow the symptoms to recover, to get back to where you were feeling before you went to the grocery store. That might not be feeling 100% better, but at least you're back to 3 out of 10 or whatever your dizziness was before you went to the grocery store. After the symptoms recover, you can try it again later that day or the next day. If the symptoms, this is what they say too, if the symptoms decrease quickly, then return to the environment and practice again. So if you step out, you immediately feel better, go right back in. If it doesn't, if it takes a little while to get back down, save it again for the next day. But that was the instruction every single day. There it is. At least once each day. Go to a busy place. Stay there till your symptoms reach 6 out of 10, and then take yourself away. And then try again later or the next day. So that's a little bit about going to the grocery store. I want to also mention that we've been doing a weekly challenge in my newsletter group. Our weekly challenge this week is to talk to somebody about concussions. Just actually face to face talk to somebody. You'd be surprised how many people have concussions you don't even know about. But if you talk about it, then people will tell you, oh yes, I had one, or my friend has one, I know somebody who needs help. So if you just get out there and talk to people and let them know what you heard about today, that if you're having a hard time with the grocery store, you're actually supposed to go to the grocery store. It's pretty surprising. I was shocked when the doctors first told this to my daughter Maria. So if you're at the, just with your friends or wherever, at some kind of event, people say, hey, how are you today? You can say something like, I'm good. I just heard some pretty interesting information that I never heard about before. And just talk about how concussions are treatable, that the idea of resting in a dark room after a concussion is no longer the standard of care. And just let people know that there is help for concussions, that they can get treatment. If you have questions about that, you can always look on my website, read my free mini book. The link for that is below, goodbyeconcussions.com. And I'll hope to see you again next week, Wednesday, 10:30-ish, for a concussion coffee break. Thanks. See you next week. Bye.